The shocking truth on the Cam Fowler extension has been revealed as multiple players and management spoke out on the recent signing, and this deal is even better than we expected. We're going to break down this contract, a key detail that changes everything for the St. Louis Blues, and multiple quotes, including one from Cam Fowler. We're going to break down all that and so much more later on this episode. Before we get into that, I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone watching. If you're part of the 53.2%, we're trying to reach our goal of 4,500 subscribers, so make sure to go down and hit that free subscribe button. It helps a bunch, and in return, we'll give you daily updates from all around the Blues. But with that, Darius, let's go straight into it. And listen, if you were watching the game last night, Cam Fowler was a little busy in two ways, as we did see the extension come out, a 3-year deal for Cam Fowler to stay with the club. Now, the big thing is, we've seen a quote from Cam Fowler on extending, just speaking on how much he loves the coaching staff here. He goes through Monty, Webby, Otter. He talks about how much he loves being around the rink. The city, the fans, his family loves it. Everything about this organization has turned a new leaf for Cam Fowler, and seeing him extended for 3 more years, not including this season where he's only getting paid $4 million, thank you to the Ducks, for retaining on him. But Darius, what is your initial thoughts? And listen, we're going to break down a key detail and multiple quotes, but what is your thoughts on the Cam Fowler contract coming in at 6.1?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a steal for the St. Louis Blues, and we talked about it in our video yesterday, but there's more details with this contract that have since come out that we're going to get into that is pretty surprising. I actually really like some of these details. It makes a lot of sense for the St. Louis Blues. But again, Cam Fowler coming over 6.5 right now on the books, at least. Obviously, like you mentioned, they're not paying him exactly that. Thank you, Anaheim Ducks. But going forward, 6.1, he is not getting a raise. I thought he would, especially in a rising cap world, which is what we're in right now, and it's going up significant amounts season after season at this point, every single summer. So for him to be making only $6.1 million, I think it's a bit of a steal for this team to have, you know, one of your number one defensemen. And again, a few years down the line, I would imagine that Broberg is going to take over that role. But I think this contract's going to age very well. This is a guy who's still in his prime. He's playing some really, really good hockey. He was last year. I'm expecting him to do the same this year. Now, there's some other details with the contract that we didn't know at the time that we recorded our last video, and that is the fact that there is a no movement clause attached to the contract, which most players have at this point. Not necessarily surprised by this. I was just kind of expecting it at this point. But the one interesting thing is it's a no trade clause, not necessarily a no movement clause. So there could be some weird waivers things if things do go south there. I don't think that's going to happen at this point. He's playing some good hockey, but there is always potential for that. No trade clause in this contract for the first 2 years. The last year, however, it's a modified no trade clause. So he has a full no trade clause until January 2029. And then on January 1st, 2029, it converts into a 15-team no trade list for Cam Fowler. So the Blues in the last year of this contract are able to get out from this contract if they want to by trading him. I think that's tidy work. I would fully expect Cam Fowler to still be a great player and one of the best defensemen on this team for the next 2 seasons at least. So this is tidy work. I love everything about this contract. He clearly wants to be here. He feels comfortable here. He works in the system. Jim Montgomery loves the player. This makes all the sense in the world to me, and it just somehow got better with some of these details as well.
And I mean, with this, it works out perfectly. Like you said, if you're getting into the final year, going into January, and Cam Fowler's either not on this team or at the point of not being able to be on this team, you can get out with the 15 no trade clause. That gives you at least half the league. And listen, one of the teams rhymes with a curse word and plays on the Western Conference, which we know he's not going to go back to. But the big thing with Cam Fowler, everyone in this organization loves Fowler and what he's brought. You can see with Doug Armstrong speaking on the extensions, it started with a really wanted Cam here. We've loved everything he's done, and he loves it here. It felt natural when we started to talk about both sides wanting to get something done. Now, seeing this is awesome. Seeing a player come over, getting a resurgence on his career with how well he played last season, and going into the event sets, even Jay Fresh says it. Listen, he's a great puck-moving defenseman who developed great chemistry with Colton Parayko after struggling with the Ducks. But the big thing with Cam Fowler, I think not only did he work with Parayko, but both of these guys unlocked something for each other. I mean, Colton Parayko spoke on it. I'm excited. A great player, great teammate just as soon as he got here. Can't say enough good things about him. He's just such a great player. We can see the high praise coming from this organization. But the big thing is, and kind of going farther into it, when looking at the advanced stats, the Parayko and Fowler was the most productive expected goals for percentage. You can pause and listen. We're a couple nerds over here. We love looking at advanced stats, but these guys really unlocked each other. And Darius, with this, we know these guys are not getting older. Father time is never lost, but the big thing is seeing two of them play so well. Do you expect even more coming from them with a full offseason working together?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something when you look around the league is always a big question mark. And there's a lot of other teams. And I look at the Toronto Maple Leafs, for example, with Morgan Riley and Brandon Carlo. You know, they didn't look that good to end the year together, but now they're coming into training camp together and they're going to have a full season to get acclimated to one another, to the system, all of that stuff. Cam Fowler came in, you know, halfway through last year, right? So he's going to have an opportunity now with Colton Parayko to kind of get to know each other a little bit better in terms of their game. Obviously, I'm sure they know each other very well off the ice at this point, but get to know each other's games that much better, the system, all of that stuff, because he came in and it was like a glove last year, right? Like he came in, it was seamless, and he put in really, really good minutes for this team. But I think he's going to be able to take it to another level with Colton Parayko there in terms of chemistry and just what they're going to be able to do in terms of workload this season, because they were great last season. Like you said, all the advanced analytics were pointing towards this is a great number one pairing for the St. Louis Blues. But having them together in a training camp, playing together around one another for the entire season, I think will take this team to another level. So I think that's very exciting for Blues fans. Not only that, you got Broberg there, who I'm expecting is going to take another step as well. Justin Falk, we'll have to figure something out with him. He's going to be on the team, but I don't think he's long for this team. Definitely beyond this season. Tyler Tucker's an interesting story. Logan Mailloux looked really good in preseason. You know, he's going to be on the NHL squad, but what's his role as the season continues to progress? Are they going to give him a little bit more minutes and responsibility and take some off the plate of Fowler or maybe Parayko? And if they do that, will they be better because they're playing less? You know, some players like to play more. It gets them in a flow, stuff like that. So many interesting storylines this season. But I think ultimately, long story short, yes, them coming into training camp together, starting the season together, I think is going to bring them to another level in terms of advanced analytics, eye tests, whatever you want to look at. They're going to be great for the Blues this season. And that's all that matters right now. Yes, he signed, you know, for a couple more years, but right now, this season, the expectations are high again. I think that's exciting for Blues fans.
And I mean, the biggest thing with this Blues team, looking at the back end, it already looks outstanding. Cam Fowler extended. He's going to find a new gear. We're seeing the top line work. We're seeing Broberg blossom into an elite player, and even with the young guys. But the big thing is, with the available cap space, they could still go out and make this even more dangerous. But Blues fans, what is your thoughts on the Cam Fowler extension? What is your thoughts about him as a player? We've seen everyone seem to love him, so go down and let us know down in the comments. And speaking on the comments, let's go straight into comments today, and it is coming from Soccer Rocks. And so the AAV itself is great, but there's such a good deal with it. 3-year term is awesome. The big thing with Fowler is, with the cap going up, this is slowly going to look even better. With $10 million added to the cap each season, this contract is going to start looking like maybe a $2 million deal when you're looking at adjusting to the current cap. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments. You could be featured as comments of the day. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back in another episode, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark, with my co-host, Darius, and take care, Blues fans.